So we're back in here, May 30th, 2022. Dushan's uh, mother's birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom. So we're and it's also Memorial Day.
Yes.
Uh, so let's get back into it. So yeah, the detective played with my emotions, made me incriminate myself. You know, you gotta think about it. I was 17 years old. You know, then my first experience being interrogated and stuff.
And then as an adult.
Interrogated, made a terrorist. They made me a terrorist, you know? It made me feel like a terrorist. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then later on, time to go to court, public defender. Oh, look like you got a bad case. Boom, boom, boom. You should just, you know, I talked with the DA. He's willing to work with you. Just plea out to minor charges and, you know, and let's try to get you, because the judge is looking at giving you 40 years instead of 12.
40 years?
So.
And you were 17 at this time?
If you plea out to the minor charges and just own up to those, you know, he's willing to probably work with you, give you a less amount. And I'm like, man, I already been locked up about a year, man. I ain't crying in there like that, but I'm like heated, man. Like, I already been locked up a year, man. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. I want the first offender. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My first time doing something like this as an adult.
So
The testimony is not the move. I'm not finna do that.
So let me get this right.
Testifying.
So let me get this right. You were 17 at this time, right? So
yeah, I was 17 at this time.
So if they would have given me 40 years, that means that you would have gotten out at 57.
I would have got out at 57.
Wow. Over a crime that you did at 17.
Yeah. So, you know, I said, I plead out to the possession of a firearm, criminal or robbery, terrorism act. Why did I do that? If I could go back and talk to myself, I would plead not guilty to everything. Know what I mean?
Yes.
I would try to fight the case though.
Mm-hmm.
And then thank God. Ask God to forgive me for my wrongs. But I ended up pleading guilty to the minor charges. I went before the judge and he gave me 30 years and served 12.
So like you were initially given 30 years.
I was initially given 40 years to serve 12.
Okay. So moving forward, you end up serving 12 years.
I still got 12 years. Okay.
So you're now in prison, or you've been shipped to your camp, correct?
Uh-huh.
So, let me get this right. As you were in your camp, right, you found, you started, praying to God, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Can you please, do you care to elaborate on that, on, how, what made you, turn to God, and why? Because, you could have turned to God in the beginning. Why is it that you waited till that point to turn to God? Like, so tell me what was going on with,
I was expecting the process to be shorter than what it was. A few months. Like juvenile. But that wasn't so. I was in there a long time. And they put me in a dorm called L dorm. And a guy was in there, a guy named, I'm gonna just say Joel, was in there, and he said, you know what that L stand for? And I said, what? He said, long term. He said, everybody in here done been in here a long ass time. And you gonna be in here a long time too. He said, ain't nobody went home about this dorm, but everybody in all the other dorms, they been getting out. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, no, Lord, I can't. I went. It was lockdown time. I was in a room by myself. I had a room by myself, and I just stood and looked at the brick wall at the back of the room, just staring. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like what I did. What I did was stupid. But even though I'm confessing this, it's not letting me out. So reality was striking me hard. And I said, I'm about to get on my knees and pray then. I got to do something. I can't just sit here and do nothing. I prayed to God. I said, I didn't know who I was praying to. I got down on my knees. I said, the first name popped in my head that people advised me, recommended that I pray to was Jesus. I said, Jesus, I haven't read anything about you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you did. But everyone said that you help mankind and you love us. I heard these things about you. And though I have not paid attention to you, I want you to help me. I want you to speak to me. I want you to hear that I really want your help. I ain't talking about letting me out. I ain't talking about any of these things. But I'm talking about changing my life, the way I think, the way I make my decisions, because somehow I just keep ending up in these predicaments that I no longer want to be in anymore. So I'm just leaving it at that. And I just want to I'm just begging you to guide me. After I prayed that, oh, I felt so good. Man, I just went to sleep good that night. Got up feeling good that morning. And I started kind of trying to read the Bible too. But it was just too hard for me to understand.
And at this time you had sight, correct?
At the time I had sight. I drift off again into the world and the worldly thinking. Trying to prove myself to my peers and working out. And they think they bigger than me. So I wanted to show them that I'm big too. I started eating good, working out, getting swole. And we was always like tussling, play tussling. And sometimes they get serious. Because someone's really trying to prove themselves. And I kind of got into a lot of fights. Real fights. One-on-ones. Concrete and steel. And I said to myself, though I go in and come out, I can lose, but I'll fight again. If someone continues to try to prove themselves, I won't enter a room with you. And this is how I was raised, how my dad taught me. But if I can go back and talk to myself then, I would not do it. I would tell the young man,
it's not worth it.
So it's not worth it. You're better off being silent. You're better off studying God's word. You're better off praying. You're better off giving. You know what I mean?
I understand what you mean.
So that fight, one of those fights, led to this young man losing his vision.
Now, do you care to speak about the time you were telling me about how you had, I guess you had gotten into a fight, and you were explaining to me that that you were stumbling.
I know. So there was a claim that came up in the dorm, the long-term dorm that I was in. and that someone's suit, noodle soup pack came up missing.
Oh, noodles?
Yeah, the ramen noodles pack.
Okay.
It came up missing this from someone out of someone's room, and now someone supposedly said that I was in there. I was the last one that came out of there, and someone else. So I'm in my own noodle pack suit, watching television, and someone comes up to me like, "Oh, we finna hit. You don't got my suit."
And what does hit mean?
Fight.
Okay.
So I said, "Okay, we can do it. Let me know when you want to do it." So I tell you, it's a lot of proving going on in jail, especially if you're young. You'll fight You'll fight a 50-year-old, a 40-year-old, 30-year-old. If you're 18, 17. I mean, it's all about proving. That's what it is. But anyway, so I put my noodle suit down, took my wig cap off, walked toward the room. He said, "Nah, I'm not gonna fight you. I just hurt my hand fighting this other guy." So I said, "Is he scared? Why? I mean, who is this other guy?" He was a lot more bigger than that guy. So I went in there anyway. Because in my mind, I'm like, hearing my dad's voice, "Don't be scared of no man. Don't back down." And I was like, I can't die from a fight. In my mind, I'm only going to get back up and continue to fight until it's all over with, until he's tired and I'm tired, or he loses, or I lose. If you try me again, we'll fight again. Even though I had lost the last time, we would still go. Eventually, he gonna get tired of fighting me, because I'm gonna keep trying to try something different every time. But anyway, so I went in there and we fought, and and the guy was a lot longer than me. I was fighting him as if he was my length. So he got me more than I got him. So after the fight was over with, I noticed something different.
What's that?
A couple of weeks after, the vision in my right eye began to dim, tint. It looked as if it was a tent. I was as if I was wearing shades, but I wasn't. That was just my, and it was just the right eye. Moving forward, I bandaged that. I put a towel around that eye like a pirate. And I was just looking out one eye like, yeah, I'm still here though. They don't know what's going on. They don't know I'm losing vision. Then my left eye went. So now I got permanent shades on that no one knows about. So I'm like, oh shit, I can't prove myself no more. See, God knew that I thought I was tough. So he said, I'm gonna make it where you can't prove yourself no more. So then everyone that I used to could recognize, I started mixing them up. I started calling Derrean Tyrone. I started calling Tyrone Sean, and Sean Simp. And they were like, "What? Oh, you got jokes?" And I was like, "No." In my mind, I'm in fear. I'm like, "No, they don't understand. I'm going blind. I can't see it, nothing." Any comments or questions?
Do you mind fast forwarding to the time that when you explained to me about the TV screen?
So, the TV screen. So I used to could see like the colors and everything.
When they were talking about the game.
Oh yeah, the game. So I used to watch the game a lot, like basketball, college and national, professional sports. And I used to bet on them too. And I was just trying to figure out like how I'm gonna still do this, still bet and everything. So I was just going with like the stats and everything, but I couldn't see like the score on the television. I couldn't see what I didn't know which team was which. No, it was just scoring. I just kept asking people like, "What's the score of the game? What's the score of the game? What's the score of the game? Who got what? Who got what?" And they was playing with me. Not everybody, but certain dudes and the other dudes were truthful with me. And I was like, "Dang, you can really be manipulated being blind." Cause I don't understand blind if I at this point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I really got to prison, some of my vision was trying to come back, but it was just residual vision. My retinas was attached, according to the ophthalmologist. Oh no, optometrist at the Jackson Diagnostic Prison Center.
Mm-hmm.
He diagnosed me with detached retinas and referred me to a retina specialist. Got to my permanent camp, Calhoun State Prison. There was a lot of violence there, stabbing, people stabbing each other, phones, weed, drugs. Really not that much different from the streets, from how it was on the street. That made me get closer to God. It wasn't nothing. I became more humble and wise and hanging around more elders. I left the terrorist life around alone,
Mm-hmm.
got closer to my family, got more responsible, really becoming the person who I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I admired nature. I understood that all nature was alive. I was like, wow. I looked past the trees. I was thinking it was just object, but trees are alive.
Mm-hmm.
The grass, the sunlight, the cats, the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to just look at all of it and just dive and swim in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I left that prison and I went and got eye surgery. Went to a prison called Augusta State Medical Prison. I seen elders with their whole limbs chopped off, no arms and no legs, people paralyzed, strapped to their bed, nurses doing them wrong, leaving them in their piss and shit.
But
they wanted to know the score in the game like I did, but they can't move and go out there and listen to the game. I was thinking that they was just on their phones and smoking weed and being disobedient, but really they were just. It struck me when he told me that he was paralyzed and he can't do those things. He pulled out the Bible. He read a few words out of God's book, and I was blind, so I'm like, can I trust him? Is this just some stuff he just telling me? I said, man, God really said that? Because those words were striking hard. They were powerful. I left that prison. After I got some of my sight back, I began to see colors again, gold, skin color. I saw a beautiful Chinese black woman,
Mm-hmm.
They was telling me how beautiful she was. I left that prison. Then I went back to Calhoun prison. And I said, well, why do they keep sending me here if I'm visually impaired? Someone just told me I should not be here. I should be at Central. Went back to Augusta. Then, after I left Augusta, they sent me to Central State Prison where there was a host of blind inmates. And I said, wow, they have blind people in prison? I thought I was the only blind man. You know what I mean? Out of all them other prisons, I've been in 4 prisons.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
All them prisons, I was the only blind man. Get to Central State Prison, there's a lot of other blind people.
Mm-hmm.
And they was being treated terribly.
Wow.
I got out of there after getting everything that God wanted me to get. Learning how to cope with anybody, compromise with anybody, love everyone, make the best of my resources and knowledge that I had to make everything everything just better, just being content with whatever I got and whatever I know or whoever is around me. COVID hits February 2020. Really January. It was already here. But it was made known in February. Everyone got sick around January. So COVID hit, everything shuts down. I was on the verge of getting my GED. They shut that down.
Oh, you studying to get your GED while you were in prison?
Yeah.
Okay. Making the best of your time. Well, not the best, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was making the best of my time.
Yeah, you know, just being productive.
Yeah.
With your time.
The time that I was there.
Given.
I was going to the library, studying the Bible dictionary concordance, trying to find out the deep meanings of the words within the Bible, rather than just going off the front and stuff like that. They shut the library down. They shut the chapel down. Couldn't go to church no more.
Oh, so you were going to church at this time?
No,
you were going to an actual church? Okay.
Yeah. I was getting up a few times, teaching what God's conscience and my conscience revealed to me about the scriptures. And they shut the church down. And we was locked down in the dorm all the time. And I was just in there like, everybody was like,
why were they doing
like
that?
They was just dying, you know? Sometimes they would feed us late. Stuff like that. But I would always be content. I trained myself to starve and live off faith and eat spirit so that I can thrive. But they didn't learn those things. They was just living off the flesh, the physical. But I knew God had given me something greater than food, gold, silver, money. He had given me an internal power, that way I can bring everything around me under submission, that I could thrive off of, really, and get a better character, a mindset. So I moved on, and I was just looking at everyone, and it's just like, man, look at how we're just so messed up, and we're focusing on the wrong thing. Don't know that COVID is really an awakening call. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just seen everything relating to the stories.
So now you said COVID hit. Do you care to elaborate on how did COVID change your life? Did COVID affect y'all as well?
COVID did affect us because, like I said, it changed the environment. And when you touch the environment that we live in, you're dealing with
work of
something that's not normal. It's not usual. So now you're dealing with adaptation, and it's not an easy process. It's kind of like a withdrawal. People still want to go out. Oh, we're so used to getting out. When is it going to be over? So now it's psychological now, stress. People panicking. People dying from stress in combination with COVID, being diagnosed with COVID. A lot of dying. I mean, everybody's just afraid, scared, feeling all the emotions at once. It's like the whole, I ain't gonna say that. So anyway, yeah, we was all affected though. But then one call came. Church call. Derrean Tucker come out. They were calling out people specifically. They could have called out all the other 89 people in there, but they called my name. And they was like, where you going, man? What's up? Why you on?
24 minutes. 31 viewfinder. Speech off.
Time to.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So I went out to the chapel, and guess what they were doing out there?
What? What were they doing?
A prayer call.
They were having a prayer call. Okay.
That's your favorite time right here. This your favorite part of the story.
Yes.
They were having prayer call. It wasn't there one. This one wasn't there one. So that prayer call ended. We was praying about everything. Came back the next day. Prayer call. Derrean Tucker. Again. What? Darren, where you going, man? How'd you keep getting out there? I'm coming back with snacks, food. And guess what? I'm handing it out to them. I'm eating something. But before I ate, I found everyone that didn't have nothing. And I gave it to them. Next day, church call. Derrean Tucker. Oh my goodness. Something going on. Prayer call happened again. But this one is very unique from the others. That was this guy that got real emotional and real spiritual. He got his life. And he been devoting his life to God for the longest. Being locked up for over 30 years.
Over 30?
His name is Hawkins. Older guy. He said, I know that God know the work that some of us has been doing in here. Devoting to him and his will. And God said, if it is of his will, he will grant it to those that have faith and ask in faith. And I'm asking today that God release all of those that have been in the field working and devoting themselves to him, that we may go back unto our families and do work there. I pray to God in faith, asking this, and it is of his will, I know. And he's the chaplain and the chaplain's assistant said, everybody get together right now. Everybody hold on. We're all going to pray in this, in faith, in unity, all on one thing. We're going to move this prison right now. We're going to bring God's power. We're going to, into us. We're going to, so everybody hold it together. We pray on one accord for the same thing. She said, don't let your mind veer off. Don't let Satan, take hold of your mind. So everybody was just praying. And I'm like, I want this for myself too. I know I've been working, but God does not need to pay no one back. I know I'm telling God in my mind, you don't owe us nothing. We owe you. We the ones that were been
disobedient.
You know what I mean? You the one who created everything. But yeah, God, if it is your will, please grant it. Next thing you know,
so
there's no church call no more.
So did y'all pray for release?
Yeah, they will be praying.
Okay.
Next thing you know, there's no prayer call no more, no church call.
What happened?
They started opening up the doors now. People was going GED here and there.
Really?
Next thing you know, parole papers come to people. You hear everybody like, man, I'm about to go, man. I'm about to go home. I'm about to parole out. It was good. I'm like, man, that's nice. you deserve that. Next thing you know, somebody else get it. Man, 10 people going home today. What? Wow, man, that's a lot of folks. Like, man, that's good, man. That's good, y'all.
And this whole time you're staying humble.
I'm humble as can be. Everyone that in this positive thing, I'm uplifting it. I'm like, you deserve it. You need it. And whatever I get, I'm taking.
So by this point, you're still served with 12 years.
Still only 12. So, man, I get one.
Okay.
You got a TPM such a date.
What's the TPM?
Temporal parole month. So, all right. Okay. That's nice. I put the paper under my bed and I pull out the Bible, study. Then that day go to get my GED. And I'm like, man, you got a parole paper, didn't you? I'm like, yeah, but it's tentative. I'm explaining now. I'm like, do you know what tentative means? I mean, it's like more like it's likely to change. I mean, I know a lot of people got parole papers because it's just that month, that year,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't get released. But if it's God will and it comes, then yeah, it's alright. It's good, great. Glory be to God.
But you still humble.
And I said, he said, so you're not excited? And I'm like, I feel the same as I did yesterday. I'm always happy. So, you know.
And the parole papers still, you still have
the
the
bed. I ain't looked at it my second time, third time, nothing. It's still under the bed.
You only saw it one time and then threw it underneath your bed.
Yep. And,
So then what happened?
some people got denied a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Can't recall. But they called me up one day to booking intake, and they said, we need to size you up. What size shoes you wear? What size waist are you? Size shirt you wear? I'm like, what's y'all want to give out some new uniforms?
you thought they were giving us some new
And
uniforms.
they said, nah, we do this to people that about to get ready to go home. I said, oh, for real? Yeah, man, you might finna go home, man. Parole out. You got to put some papers? I said, yeah, man. You probably finna get ready to go home.
And the paper that they're talking about still under your bed.
And I'm like, man, all right. They signed me up with that education.
Mm-hmm. Did you believe? You still did not believe you were being paroled out?
Got back to the dorm, studying the Bible. Worked out, ate, went to sleep, woke up. I'm like, man, you got sized up, man. Why that next step? You got your paper first. You got sized up. This sign, you gotta go home, man. You gotta go home.
You believe them by now, right?
I'm like, everybody get that sometimes. So I know some people. Cause I've been for prison. I've been locked up for a while. So I know some people that got parole papers, got sized up, and then go home on that day. They got denied. I mean, you don't want to base nothing upon that anyway. Mm-hmm. You really want to base everything upon the word of God. So, I got sized up. My grandma got on the phone with my grandma. My grandma said, the parole people came out to the house. They wanted to know if it's all right for you to parole out. I said, they did now. I said, yeah, I think you might be coming home. I said, I might just be coming home, though, Grandma, but I can't count on it, though.
You still did not believe her?
I'm going off tentative, parole month. Tentative means likely to change.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, it's not sure.
It's not definite.
Yeah, but I know it is sure.
God. Mm-hmm.
I'm free already. But I'm like, I don't know what y'all thinking. This is a different round here. So I'm still like, as I am now.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought the people were playing with me, the parole board and everything. I don't touch, man. Not fully, especially if you ain't showing that you conscious of the truth. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the counselor. I'm in my room working out or whatever I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Derrean Tucker, come down, the counselor here. Come down. I see him cancel. He said, so who do you want to come pick you up? You want to take the bus, or you want a family member to come get you? You
believed it by now,
said,
right?
They're leaving on Friday. And I started smiling. And I looked back at everybody. Looked down. I said, I'm going to get my dad to come get me. And I was like, man, I'm going home for real. God dang. So
By this point, how many years have you been in there?
I went upstairs. I'm like, wow. Then I said, oh, I'm finna go through every day the same way as I've been going. I started calisthenics. Called my grandma. Told her, yeah, I'm coming home. Called dad. Told him to come pick me up on Friday. It's success time. And my fellowship partner was already gone. I pinpoint everybody that was like poor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I already planning to distribute everything to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure I talk to all the guys, encourage them before I leave.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them to keep the faith
Mm-hmm.
and stay strong.
Mm-hmm.
And that day, when Friday came, you know, I was out of there.
Wow. And that was on August 6th? Is that correct?
Yep, of 2020.
Wow. Whew, man. And you've been home ever since?
I've been home ever since.
Haven't gotten into any trouble or come across any police or any of that?
I've been staying here ever since.
Mm-hmm. In LaGrange? In your house?
In LaGrange. And I paroled out to my grandma's house.
Aww.
But my dad came and got me. I was with him the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
I went by my grandma's house.
Mm-hmm.
Saw them, saw my auntie,
Mm-hmm.
saw my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Came back over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Dad, when Dad gonna take me back to grandma's house? He never did.
Your dad never took you back over to grandma's house?
Yeah. He said, they gonna be your room right there.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, Dad, I paroled out there though. Parole people might get me.
But you've been having
So
a
he
clean
said
nose
he
ever since.
He said, we're gonna go down to the court and we're gonna tell them to switch it to here. I've been here ever since.
That's great. That's very, very, very great. Thank you so much, Mr. Derrean Tucker, for sharing your story with us this afternoon.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. That was a very, very, very motivating story to tell. And I pray that everyone who watches this this video clip, that you know that this inspires them as well as it has inspired me.
No,
it encourages you. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope to see you again.